You're watching America's healthiest TV show, Health Corner, with host Joan Lunden, plus Chef MD Dr. John Puma, and fitness with Kathy Smith.
Today on Health Corner, they played husband and wife on TV's LA Law, and they're married in real life. Today, they share their amazing family story.
We tripped into these decisions. You know, they were sort of forced on us.
Plus, she's a mom, a physician assistant, and she's been on duty in Iraq. Meet Andrea Gale Benentt.
Coming up on Chef MD, I've got a bowl full of heart-healthy flavor with my easy fisherman soup.
Health Corner is a sponsored program brought to you by Walgreens. There's a way to stay well. And now from our studio in New York.
Hi, I'm Joan Lunden, and welcome to Health Corner, and thanks for joining us today. Imagine being the mom of 6, a physician assistant, and the highest-ranking African-American woman in the Massachusetts Army National Guard. Oh, and add to that, she's also been serving our country in Iraq. I first met Andrea Gale Benentt at my women's camp last summer, and I was so amazed by her life story that I just had to ask her to share it with you.
I finally made it to Camp Buring in Kuwait.
Life in the desert. Lieutenant Colonel Andrea Gale Benentt gave us a glimpse into military life, a world away from the comforts of home.
I really don't have a fear. I am just a little anxious. You know, I have not been away from my family for 4 months.
Just before she left for Iraq, Andrea, a physician's assistant in the Massachusetts Army National Guard, invited us to meet her husband and children.
That looks good. I'm hungry.
The family shared thoughts on their mother going to a war zone.
I'm nervous, but really what I want is for her to get through it.
Before she shipped out, her daughter wanted to do something special for her mom.
I thought she needed a little bit of a vacation or a break before she went to Iraq.
On the internet, she found Camp Reveille. It's Joan Lunden's health and fitness camp in Maine, and the camp was giving away a unique summer camp experience to deserving women.
And then I saw something that said you could nominate somebody, and I thought it would be really cute, because my mom didn't get to go to camp. The phone rang, and she said, "Hello, this is Joan Lunden." And all I could say was, "Joan Lunden? Joan Lunden? Joan Lunden?" I couldn't believe it, and she said yes, and told me about this wonderful experience that I'd won.
2 weeks before her deployment, Andrea and her daughter joined Joan and the other women. They enjoyed 4 days of pampering and playing like a kid, a chance to be energized and inspired before heading off to war.
Oh, it absolutely put me in the right place.
For Andrea, scaling the camp's climbing wall was symbolic of the challenges ahead.
About a quarter of the way, I said, I can't do this, this is too hard. And I think the ladies on the ground heard me, and they all, "Oh, you can do it, you can do it." And yes, now I'm ready to tackle Iraq, because I've conquered the wall.
From Camp Reveille, it was off to Camp Liberty, just outside Baghdad.
I said I'd be able to tackle Iraq, and here I am.
Andrea's video blogs document her first deployment. Part of a medical unit, she spent her days running a clinic, caring for other service members, helping them relieve stress through mental and physical therapy. Pictures also capture the camaraderie among soldiers, but also the danger. This is a vehicle struck by an explosive device. And in her journal, she writes how a rocket attack badly damaged part of her camp, and a soldier was killed. Before she left for Iraq, we asked Andrea about facing this kind of danger.
I don't worry about things that I can't control. And so I'll go, I'll do my job, and come back.
Andrea Gale Benentt is now home safe from her tour in Iraq. A love of country and family kept her strong.
I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be able to do this. I'm proud to be able to help.
For Health Corner, I'm Sarah Welch.
I hear from Andrea almost every week, and I love getting her updates. We have more of Andrea's videos from Iraq on the Health Corner website, so make sure you log on to learn more about her experiences. Okay, being a skillful parent and having a sense of humor are not mutually exclusive. Here now with some practical advice is Brad Powell, co-author of the book Dad Lab's Guide to Fatherhood. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Joan. Thanks for having me. Dad Lab started about 6 years ago when Troy Lanier, Clay Nichols, and I were all teaching at a boarding school. We'd get together on Monday nights. We were going to make a great movie, but we always ended up talking about fatherhood. And we quickly realized that when we went out to look for resources about fatherhood from a dad's perspective, there really wasn't much out there. So what Dad Labs is trying to do is to start a conversation so that we can all talk about how to fulfill the expectations of being equal parents in the whole parenting process. And it's great because the outcome of that is wonderful relationships with your children, more intimate relationships with your children than our dads experienced, just because we spend more time with them. If you think about the things that it takes to keep a household running, there are lots and lots of activities. It's great to sit down with your wife or partner and make a list of all those things and then figure out how to divvy it up. Taking part in those activities strengthens the relationship with you and your wife and your partner. Obviously, you have more time together because you get kind of the household chores out of the way, and then you can spend a little time having an adult conversation, maybe even go out for date night. One of the things that I like to do is choose my task, my chores that I can do while watching the game. I.e. laundry is a good one. I will fold mountains of laundry, especially during football season, because I can sit there and sort socks and watch the big game. Wonderful. And secondly, it's important to choose chores that your kids will eventually be able to take over. Cutting the grass, that's an easy one. One of the reasons it's important to do things every day with your kids is just the opportunity for just spontaneous magic to happen. The non-planned and the non-purchased moments end up being the most special.
Thanks, Brad. And for more information about the Dad Lab's Guide to Fatherhood, visit healthcornertv.com. Coming up, I'll be talking about food allergies and what you need to know to keep your family safe.
Think you can't make French food like bouillabaisse? Think again. I've made it easy with my Chef MD approved recipe.
What does hope look like? Sometimes it's a hug or a laugh, and sometimes it's a future without worry. But most of all, hope looks like these children and me who live with type 1 diabetes. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation continues to accelerate the crucial research that represents the real hope for a cure for millions of children and adults. Their hope is boundless, and with your help, we'll find a cure.
If we never had to get well soon, would we simply stay well always? There's a place to find out. At Walgreens, we're redefining what it means to be well, with products and advice you can count on every day, in every area of your life. So join us and stay well soon. Walgreens. There's a way to stay well.
Welcome back to Health Corner. I'm Joan Lunden. Chef MD Dr. John LaPuma is making the ultimate French dish, bouillabaisse. So Dr. John, what makes this delicious classic so good for us?
Bonjour, Joan, mon ami. Today, we are talking matters of the heart. In particular, we are talking halibut. Is it okay if I drop the accent now? Thanks. Halibut are big in size and big in impact when it comes to the heart. Every delicately sweet fillet is brimming with omega-3 fatty acids. American diets are typically deficient in omega-3 fatty acids and in vitamin D. And these deficiencies contribute to inflammation in the body, which is at the bottom of heart disease, arthritis, asthma, diabetes, and many immune diseases. Fortunately, reversing these deficiencies is simply delicious. Just put omega-3 rich, low toxin, plentiful fish like Pacific halibut on your menu. Our wonder fish is the food as medicine ingredient in my very French, very Chef MD approved, simple Mediterranean bouillabaisse.
Oh, sounds delicious, Dr. John. We'll see you in the kitchen in just a bit. Want to get Chef MD's bouillabaisse recipe emailed to you? Just visit the Health Corner website and click on Healthy Recipes in order to sign up. Okay, now more than 26 million Americans are enrolled in Medicare Part D. Our Walgreens pharmacist Helen Jung joins us now with an update on what's new. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Joan. The Medicare Part D program has a number of changes for 2010. The deductible, initial coverage limit, out-of-pocket threshold amounts, as well as some of the copays went up a little, in most cases about 5% or less.
A lot of people still aren't positive what Medicare Part D is or how it can help. Can you take us through it briefly?
Sure. Basically, Medicare Part D works like an insurance plan. There's a monthly premium, a deductible, and then coverage for prescription drugs based on the specifics of the plan you choose. Low-income seniors, individuals with Medicare Part A or B, and people with disabilities who are enrolled in Medicare and Medicaid are all eligible.
Now, I know that the program does have a prescription drug coverage limit. Is there any advice you can offer about that?
Yes. One of the best things you can do is, whenever possible, switch to the generic version of the prescription medication you're taking. And that's something your Walgreens pharmacist can help you with.
And I also understand you can provide customers a report that shows which plans are best based on current medical needs and prescriptions that you take now.
That's right, Joan. Just visit Walgreens and ask your pharmacist for the Medicare D report, and we can show you what the report means and which plan is best for you. You can even start getting your prescriptions at Walgreens right away.
Thanks so much for your help today, Helen.
You're welcome, Joan.
And we have more information about changes in Medicare D on our website, healthcornertv.com, so please visit us online. All right, how you doing with your resolution to exercise more? Well, if you're not where you want to be, don't worry, because our fitness expert, Kathy Smith, says it's never too late to start. Right, Kathy?
Right, Joan. New Year's resolutions are a great way to get yourself motivated, especially if you're making a commitment to get fit, stay in shape, and take better care of yourself. But first of all, you have to set yourself up for success. So be honest with where you're at and what you want to achieve. And here are some great strategies to help stay on track. Exercise doesn't just happen. You need to make a plan and schedule time to work out. And you're more likely to go on that run or hit the gym if you've already set aside some time to do it. So have options, whether you work out at home or go on a walk with friends. You know, time flies when you're catching up with your friends. Support and community are great motivators. Change your routine. If you're bored with the treadmill, how about trying the elliptical or lifting weights? Even putting some new music on your MP3 player can help rev things up. And finally, reward yourself every now and then. Go get a massage, a manicure, pamper yourself, even go to a movie with some friends. You see, you've got a whole year to make your New Year's resolutions work. So get moving, you still got lots of time. I'm Kathy Smith, and here's to your health.
Looking for the secret to losing weight and keeping it off? Find out how at kathysmith.com.
Today's Safety Minute is about food allergies and what we as parents can do to protect our kids. You know, just 8 foods are responsible for about 90% of all allergic reactions. And they're very common foods, both alone and also as ingredients in other products. So what are they? Well, they're milk, eggs, fish and shellfish, peanuts and tree nuts, and wheat and soy. Every year, more than 30,000 emergency room visits are made because of children's allergic reactions to these and other foods. So here are some simple safety tips to help you prevent your child's allergic reactions to foods. First, look closely at food labels. Food makers are now required to clearly identify sources of all ingredients made from the most common food allergens. And don't forget the fine print under the ingredients list. It may say it was made in a facility that processes nuts or some other allergens. Educate and inform your family and friends about your child's food allergy. Make sure they know what causes a reaction and what to do when it happens. Work closely with your child's school to come up with a food allergy plan. Many schools provide separate allergen-free eating areas, a great idea. Always keep in mind that regardless of your best efforts, accidental exposure can still happen. So know the symptoms: hives, wheezing, vomiting, nausea, and stomach cramps. Make sure your child has an emergency medication kit with him or her at all times. And when you're not with your child, make sure a responsible adult knows how to use the medications. Having a child with food allergies can be challenging, but with the right planning, education, and support, you can make sure they'll be safe even when you're not around. And stick around with us, because after the break, my conversation with Michael Tucker and Jill Eikenberry. Michael's written a new book about their journey caring for Jill's mom. Stay with us.
I want a cracker. 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 I want a cracker.
How to find peace with a shoe. How to fight cancer with a shoe. Regular exercise is just one of many ways you could reduce your cancer risk. Visit us for information and ideas. This is the American Cancer Society.
Next week on Health Corner.
New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning helps kids discover what moves them.
Kids aren't getting outside and playing sports and exercising, and it's a shame, and something needs to be done.
Plus, want to get fit? Find a partner. Fitness pioneer Kathy Smith explains.
A sweetly salty, warm, and filling salad that's low calorie, and it helps fight heart disease and lower your risk of cancer.
All that and so much more Sunday, airing on Lifetime. Michael Tucker and Jill Eikenberry made a decision not to live their whole lives in the glitz and paparazzi of Hollywood, but rather to spend part of their time in their dream home, a 350-year-old stone farmhouse in central Italy. But then a few years ago, their dream life was interrupted. And what happened next led them to re-examine their lives and really reinterpret the meaning of family. And Michael has written a wonderful book about it, and Jill and Michael are here to talk about it today. I'm delighted to see you guys again.
Good to see you too.
You know, you really found your dream. I know, Michael, it took you years to talk Jill into this, but you found that dream house in Italy. And you went over there and you got a call. Tell us what happened.
Well, actually, the call was from a friend who told me that my mom's husband had died at 91. And I had been, unfortunately, awaiting this call. In fact, it was hard for me to go to Italy that particular summer because I was worried that the call was going to come.
And so when the phone call came, it was, of course, at a chaotic time when we had house guests and this and that. And we picked up and went to Santa Barbara. And
my concern for my mom was that I felt like she was starting to lose it mentally. And in fact, her husband had been saying for years, it's a lot worse than anybody knows. I thought he was kind of, you know, looking over her shoulder all the time, making it worse than it was. What I found out after he died was that he'd been covering for her. And in fact, it was a lot worse than we thought.
And it's hard when you live far away. I mean, we've been talking that it's like exact parallel stories of what's been going on with me and my mom, who's exactly the same age. How did you go about making the decisions then? I mean, these are decisions that are going to happen now that affect the way you all live the rest of your lives. Do you bring her to you? Do you have her live with you? Do you, like, these are hard family. They can't just be your decisions.
We tripped into these decisions. You know, they were sort of forced on us as we were bumbling through this time. There was literally, at that point, no one to take care of her. They wouldn't let her back into the assisted living because she needed full-time care. And
I'm an only child. I mean, there wasn't any place else to go. And I was just beside myself. You know, what do I do? And we decided we were going to you know, we had to go back to New York for some work that we were doing, left her in the hospital momentarily, trying to figure out how we were going to solve this problem, and went out to dinner with our son, Max, and I was just, you know, hysterical. And Max said, Mom, she has to come here. She has to come to New York.
Well, now, as it turns out, you settled in New York, which is something that you guys are happy with, and you've lived on and off here in New York.
Yeah.
But you found a place across the hall.
Eventually we did. Actually, first we moved her to a senior living center.
Okay.
This was not the right place for her. And it was I think in the book, it's really the low point for Jill. Jill went to visit her. She was with her all the time, and her mother looked at her and said, "What have you done to me? You've ruined my life. I have no friends. I have no..." And this was very hard for her. And really, the next day...
Hard for you, too. I see.
It was hard for me.
Yeah.
I was coming home the next day, and I saw the real estate guy who had sold us our apartment. And he was across the hall showing an apartment. I said, "Are you selling that apartment?" He said, "No, this is a rental." So we got our aides together, and we moved her into this apartment across the hall. She has 24-hour care.
And through it, though, what I'm hearing is that you guys have reestablished a wonderful closeness with your children and kind of brought them in.
I don't think, if you'd asked me 5 years ago whether this could ever happen to our family, that I would believe it.
Allison, our daughter, does all of Laura's meals in our kitchen, which has made me so much closer to my daughter than I've ever been.
So how has this been on you then, Jill?
You know, at first it was it was a 24/7 job for me when my mom came to New York. I could think of nothing else. But gradually what I discovered was that the aides, these extraordinary women from the Caribbean, knew my mother better than I did. They knew what to do for her because, first of all, they are specialists in dementia. Secondly, they accepted her for who she was now. I was still trying to make her who she was then, and it was so hard for me every time because I would see a little spark of my mother, and I would suddenly rush in and then be disappointed over and over.
So now that you've lived it, what advice do you give the families out there? And there are millions of them now out there who are dealing with this or who know good and well that the time's going to come very soon that they're going to be dealing with this, with a parent or some family member that just can't take care of themselves.
My advice, and it's one of the stronger themes in the book, is you have to do both. You have to take care of your parent, and you have to live your life. Don't give up one for the other. And this was our struggle.
And I think my advice is try to figure out a way to let go of your expectations of of what was and embrace what is, because there are really some wonderful things about my mother having been able to lift off the burden of that personality she was trying to carry around for so long. And now there's a contentment on her face that I know comes from having let it go. And so if she can let it go, I better be able to do that too.
Well, the book, Family Meals, Coming Together to Care for an Aging Parent, is filled with advice like this. And thank you for sharing your story with everyone.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Always good to see you.
Eating even small amounts of fish may protect against ovarian and digestive tract cancers. Try my simple soup with halibut and mussels, coming up.
Pace yourself. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't ignore obvious signs. Stay hydrated at all times. Get plenty of fresh air and sunshine. And don't worry, lots of people live active lives with asthma.
Answers and advice to help you get well and stay well. Walgreens. There's a way to stay well. Learn more at walgreens.com/health.
Come on, Grandpa. Don't want to be late for the bus.
At Walgreens, we want everyone to stay well.
All right, let's roll.
That's why we launched the AARP Walgreens Wellness Tour. It brings millions of free health screenings, including glucose, blood pressure, cholesterol, and bone density to people across the country.
How'd you do on your test, Grandpa?
Passed with flying colors.
Visit us online to find out when we'll be near you. Walgreens. There's a way to stay well.
For my Chef MD approved simple Mediterranean bouillabaisse, which is an easy fisherman stew, we're using halibut as our food as medicine. This is a wonderful filling winter dish, and it starts very simply by heating some Chef MD extra virgin olive oil in a large deep skillet or a Dutch oven over medium heat. When the oil is warm, add 4 cloves of minced garlic. Sauté until the garlic is golden, about a minute or 2. The garlic's just beginning to color, and I'm going to deglaze the pan, get some of the good stuff off the bottom with the clam juice and about a cup of white wine. Scrape off the bottom so that the little bits don't stick. We'll let that come to a simmer. And then let me show you the spices. And they include a little bit of red pepper, a bay leaf, some thyme, and some organic diced roasted tomatoes. And the tomatoes here, because they've been heated, actually have 4 times the lycopene than fresh tomatoes. All this goes back. We're building layers of flavor in this bouillabaisse. This is a dish that's even better the next day. Tomatoes and the bay leaf. Finally, saffron. It gives a high antioxidant, rich golden yellow tint to the bouillabaisse. You don't need very much, just a pinch. I'm going to put this back on to let all these ingredients come together and show you mussels. These are scrubbed and debearded, and they're nice and clean. These are just going to steam open. Just give that another minute or so. And now, our food as medicine ingredient. Pacific halibut is wonderful in this dish, very firm. You're going to want to spread the paprika right on top of the fish, and then rub it a little bit. This gives it extra flavor. I'm going to just cut this in 1-inch chunks and then place it right with the mussels. Perfect. Okay, gather these all up. They're beginning to open. Perfect. See that? Open. Put the halibut right in, right on top. Seasoning the halibut. The lid back on. Cooking fish is really very easy. First of all, if fish smells fishy, then don't use it. Fish is not supposed to smell fishy. Second, if the fish goes from translucent to opaque, it's done. If it goes much further, it gets a little bit chewy. Let's take a look. Notice the halibut is already turning opaque. These chunks are already white. We want them to be a little firm. The mussels are open, open, open. They can go another minute or so. And the flavors and aroma of this is amazing. It's just like you're in the Mediterranean. See how that's flaking apart? That tells you that these 1-inch chunks are cooked through already. Now we're talking. There we go. Mussels, tomatoes, red pepper, halibut. There we are. A little fresh thyme. Just sprinkle those leaves for extra goodness and extra antioxidants. Just like downtown, my gosh. For the complete recipe, check out our website. And remember, the fountain of youth starts in the kitchen. Chantani, may you live 100 years. For Chef MD, I'm Dr. John Puma. Perfect.
Learn more about culinary medicine today. Order Chef MD's Big Book of Culinary Medicine at chefmd.com and sign up for free weekly recipe emails while you're there.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. So much important information, and we have even more online, including Andrea Gale Benentt's amazing videos from Iraq. So thanks for watching America's healthiest TV show. I'm Joan Lunden, and remember, there's a way to stay well.
Next week on Health Corner.
Kids aren't getting outside and playing sports and exercising.
New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning helps kids discover what moves them. Plus, want to get fit? Find a partner. Fitness pioneer Kathy Smith explains.
A sweetly salty, warm, and filling salad that's low calorie, and it helps fight heart disease and lower your risk of cancer.
Health Corner is a sponsored program brought to you by Walgreens.